Let's get down to our guest speaker. He's an actor. He's a father. He also was a bartender in LA. That has to be crazy to be a bartender. He's a husband, great father, one of the co-founders, go-to guys, circle champion. His topic is Fireside Chat. But before we do this, I want to show him something. This is, I always talk about him and his daughter and how much he loves his daughter. This was in December last year on the cruise. Now, let me explain something. You see that big boat back there? There's 3,000 passengers, 5,000 employees on that boat. And ACN takes us on journeys every year, and anybody on this call can qualify. Not just leaders, but anybody get on here and just put your head down and go to work, can qualify. There he is having dinner with his daughter, instilling good quality and traits into her. What kind of guy you think his daughter's going to be dating when she gets of age? But look at this. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's the blessing of this business. To be able to take your daughter on a cruise, say, babe, I love you. Show around, educate her, spend quality time. See, some of you spending time away from your family. Yes, we get that. But look, later on, you could take them on cruises. Matching tennis shoes. How you like that, guys? Matching tennis shoes. Now, if that ain't love, if that's not daughter, father time together, matching tennis shoes. You guys catching clues here. This is what this business can do for you. It's not just money, but what about quality time with your kids and love when somebody you love? Ain't that a blessing? Oh, I don't know how that one got in. That one's supposed to get in there. This is what leaders do on cruise ships. Yeah, we had some fun. And without further ado, our Fireside Chat featured none other than the great Mr. Dean Tarrolly.
Well, you guys, that's why we do this, right? We do this. I hope we do this business because you have a big reason why. You have a big reason, why you put your name on that application, why you hit submit, or for some of us back in the day, why you wrote your name at the bottom of that application to get started with us, And it's funny because having Al show those pictures, you guys see that part of it. And it's so funny because what I'm going to actually talk about today actually has everything to do with those pictures that you just saw. Because I think ultimately that's why people get started in ACN. It's to have a quality of life that maybe a traditional job or business was never designed, to give us. And, I love that Al sort of set this up as a fireside chat. I just texted those pictures to my daughter, and my daughter just texted back, "Aw." Right? She's in choir right now. She has choir this morning. And no, she does not have me wrapped around her finger as she asked me to bring her a Starbucks medicine ball in between her classes, which I may or may not be doing. I may or may not be doing. What a little shit. Anyway, okay, I just completely just said that. All right, so here we go. So you guys, this is not going to take a lot of time today to get across how we're going to start this month. So I have a lot of respect for Al Thomas, as all the leaders do. I say this at the beginning of every call, and I don't know that people really understand that he doesn't need to do this call. He doesn't need to do surprise Zoom guests for tomorrow. Like, this is not required for him to have the quality of life and lifestyle that he has. It's not. So if it's not required and he's doing it, man, I hope you guys get this stuff today. If it's not required for him to have the quality of life that he has built, but he continues to do it, well, there has to be something significant there. And that's very indicative of how we build our businesses. When you're a senior vice president, when you've had an ownership stake in banks, when you can fly and travel privately and you're good, you don't necessarily have to commit to a Zoom 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 12 months a year, arranging for guest speakers to come in and do all that stuff. So I want you to think about that for a second. Would you? And whether you would or you wouldn't, that's not a judgment call. I'm just letting you know. Success leaves clues, right? There is something you're going to hear me say and something I'm going to show you at the end. There's an energy and an effort level that is just, it separates good from great. So, Mr. Thomas, I appreciate you. You caught me. So, I'm going to have to get ready. Like whatever month we end up, maybe this is our last month together. I don't know, but I got to be prepared for when you like pull that stuff. That was a lot of fun, you guys. We do talk about hoping that you guys build your businesses to the point where you can spend that kind of quality time with the leaders, right? So let me tell you a couple things. First thing I want to share with you is this, is to be an entrepreneur in what we do, it is unreasonable and it is unfair. It is unreasonable and it is unfair. And you can write those two words down. It is unreasonable and it is unfair to not expect challenges. And by the way, Jamar, you did a phenomenal job on all those announcements. I'm just telling you, I would take someone like that energy level. I would take someone like that any day of the week, any day of the week. So let me go back. It is unfair, in my opinion, and it is unreasonable, in my opinion, to not expect challenges when you're doing something entrepreneurial. Where you maybe shouldn't expect challenges would be when someone else is in control. When someone else is in control, then the challenges roll up to her, or they roll up to him. But it is unreasonable and it is unfair to not expect challenges in your ACN business. So some of you might be going, well, shoot, why in the heck is he starting with this? I'll tell you why. Because it is the way it is, right? You have to decide, do I want to take on, the challenges to have the freedom? Or do I want to give up the challenges to someone else to give up the freedom? What does that look like? I don't know. Always in a budget. I'm not saying don't budget. We all have to budget, but I'm saying like always, I heard somebody say years and years and years ago, man, you know what I want to do with ACN? I'm like, what is it? And he goes, you guys follow along. He goes, I said, he goes, you know what I want to do with ACN? I said, tell me, what do you want to do with ACN? Dude goes, I don't want to look at the right side of the menu. Guess what's on the right side of the menu? The prices. I want to look at the right side of the menu. That's why I'm doing ACN. Hey, can I order? Yes. Hey, can we get two? So why do leaders like Al do this call? Why are you guys plugged in? And by the way, just let me side note, I told you guys I was going to be on this a couple months ago. I appreciate the cameras that are on. I appreciate everybody that's on, but I appreciate the cameras that are on because this is supposed to be a conversation between us. And I know some people can't. I get it that some people can't. Some people are working. Some people are, and I get it. But that's not the case for a lot of people. It's just easier to just listen. And okay, well, anyway. You know why people want front row seats? Because they're engaged with the action. You know why people want any seat that they can get instead of watching on TV? Because they're engaged in the action. And just something to remember when you start going to events, right? I mean, I tell people the money's made in the first few rows. I mean, but that's my own personal thing. So let's talk about this for a second. We need to go over three really important things. Number one is what can be taught. And alongside of that, it's actually not 3 points. It's just, I guess it is. What can be taught? What can we coach? Right? What can we teach you? What can be taught in ACN? What can you teach? What can be taught in ACN? What can we coach you in ACN? Well, there's some things, right? This is supposed to be a leadership development call. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Al. This is not a keep someone in the game. This is a leadership development morning call, correct? Now, that can keep someone in the game, but this is about developing leadership. You know, we have a guy on the call right now. He's going to be surprised I'm going to say his name, because I haven't spent a lot of time with him, but he's on the team and he's doing a great job. But I know what he's doing. His name is Alan Lozano. He's down in Texas working with Ryan Ruiz. He's doing a phenomenal job. Hey, Alan, what's cracking? This guy is treating this thing so seriously. Do not be surprised when he goes regional director and regional vice president. There's another one on this called Jody Stendebeck. She's in the Midwest. Gail Erickson up in the Pacific Northwest. Do not be surprised when these people go regional director and regional vice president. And I can only talk about the people on my team specifically, but I'm going to tell you why. Because they're putting in time, effort, and energy, and they are focused and committed to what they said they were going to do. And guess what? They all had challenges. And guess how they dealt with them? Like professionals. They all had challenges and they dealt with them like professionals. Now, I'm going to come back to this. I can't teach that. Al cannot teach that. That is unteachable skill set. We can talk about it, but we can't teach it. Here's what we can teach you. We can teach you the comp plan for sure. Absolutely. We can teach you how to pique someone's interest, the best methods, best ways. We can teach you how to get customers, the best, most effective ways using the huge favor approach. Why? So you're not a salesperson. Nothing wrong with being a salesperson. It's just the best way to do it is to fulfill a need for someone. Let them know how personally it would be important for someone to be your customer. We can teach you the presentation. I taught that at the last 2 Emerge events. I can teach you the presentation. We can teach you how to close. And all closing means is just creating a window of time that it would be advantageous for someone to get started on the team, part-time plan B on the side. We can teach you the services. We can walk you through Flash Mobile and Impact Health Sharing, and we can teach you all that stuff. The things that show up on the reports are the following: how many customers you have, how many people on your team, and how many customers they have. Those are quantifiable metrics that can show whether your business is advancing, declining, or you're losing what's coming in, which means you're on a treadmill. You're walking and you're not going anywhere. So if you understand that conversation, and there's only certain things, well, there's a lot of things that Al and I and the other leaders can teach. There's a lot of things that we can coach you on. But ironically, nothing like starting the month with a little ethereal sort of highlight. Ironically, what's going to promote you and what's going to have the biggest impact, no pun intended, in your business, what's going to get you to the highest levels, what's going to show up on your reports is not measurable. You might be going, well, what are you talking about? See, we can teach and coach you guys all the different parts of ACN, but those things are not going to get you to the highest levels of the company. I didn't say they won't get you to high levels in the company. I said they won't get you to the highest levels in the company. We can give you a solid foundation, all my notes here. We can give you a solid foundation And by the way, you can have a solid foundation to get to the highest level of any profession, right? The highest levels of any profession, they come from uncoachable and unteachable factors. What in the world? The highest levels of anything that you achieve are going to come from uncoachable and unteachable factors. And here's what they are, if you want them. Do you want them? Okay. It's two things. Some of you, this is going to hit you right between the eyes, and some of you are going to be like, oh, dude, I knew this. And for those people, I'm sorry to say you missed this conversation. It is energy level and effort level. It is energy level and effort level. And I'm going to freaking prove it to you right now from this call that I did not know was going to happen. I did not know that Jamar was going to do the announcements. That's not my business. That's Al's business. I know Jamar. We're acquaintances, friendly acquaintances, see each other at the events and stuff. But I want you guys to think about something for a second. And I said this earlier because I wanted to come back to it. How would you guys feel if Jamar Sharp was on your team? How would you feel? This guy can't even be contained in that sport coat. This guy's got so much energy and excitement and enthusiasm for what we're doing. Are you bringing that to the table? Now, I'm not telling you to turn into some person that you're not, but I'm telling you to check the version of yourself. You know, you guys, we're not playing poker with ACN. We're not trying to hold our hands. We're trying to show our hands. So your energy level and your effort level are the unmeasurables that will show up on your reports. Why do I say that? You could give me a person that knows everything about ACN, but they have no energy, enthusiasm, or effort level being put into their business, but they know this thing freaking inside and out. I'm telling you, they're going to be a career ETL. Nothing wrong with being an ETL, but don't tell me you want to go RVP or SVP or regional director. Don't tell me that. And have no effort, energy, or enthusiasm. Don't tell me that if you're distracted with 9,000 other things. Please, let's get that conversation out of the way. I get everybody's busy. I get everybody's got stuff, and I get everybody has multiple streams, and I get all of that. That is not what this conversation is about. I've said this for years and years and years and years and years, that you can be a part-time professional in ACN. Well, you understand, Dean, if I do something, I got to do it 100%. Relax, pal. I don't need you to do 100%. Give me 10. Give me 10. I'll make up the 90%, myself and the company and the leaders. But when we do get together for the sliver of time that you do this, when we do get together with the sliver of time that you do this, I want 100%. So I don't need the 100. Dude, you don't understand, man. I can't do something 100%. I ain't doing it. First of all, liar, freaking pants on fire. That is BS. Then nobody does that. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. That's nonsense. That is nonsense. But when you have a window here and a window there, 30 minutes here, an hour there, nothing for a couple of days, an hour here, 30 minutes there, go all in, put all the chips in. And then when that hour is done, move on to your other stuff. You guys, it's a better story. And let me tell you one other thing about doing ACN part-time. You want to know why most, by the way, Al, permission to be very direct. You want to know why most of you guys do not have the results that you want and you think you're doing ACN part-time? I'm going to tell you why. Because you're not treating this as a part-time professional. You're not going on to ACN Compass. You're not learning the services. You're not plugging in to the calls that are done within the teams. You guys, look, I do a presentation call and we have a team presentation call with myself and some other RVPs. We do a customer training call during the week. We do an impact training call during the week. Look, you're not plugging into those calls. You know, do not get upset with the results you're not getting from the work you're not doing. Do not get upset with the results you're not getting from the work you're not doing. Now, there's a big positive to all of this. Who wants it? Because I know I've given you guys who wants it. Okay, you want the big positive? The things that I said are the unteachable, uncoachable factors that make all the difference in whether someone goes to the top positions in our company, in my opinion. The unteachable, uncoachable factors that make the biggest difference in someone going to the top positions in this company. Here's what you need to know about it. You are in 100% control of those things. You are in 100% control of the factors that, in my opinion, will take you to the top of the company. How freaking great is that? You could have those factors in a job and you got no chance to own the company. You could have those factors in a job and you have zero chance to become the senior managing person of that division, whatever. Because that spot's taken. Which means someone's cutting your check. But when you understand that the unteachable, uncoachable factors, which are energy level and effort level, when you understand those things, watch what happens. So your skill set could be here, but your energy level, your effort level is here. I will tell you, you will win. Now, what'll make that time go faster? It's getting your skill set. And you guys, how many months have we been doing? How many years have we been doing this call? And I've been talking about skill set. But the thing that's going to make the difference, the mitigating factor for everybody that wants to go regional or senior vice president in this company, it's energy and effort. And you learn the stuff along the way. So you just have to decide. You just have to decide. Man, decisions are great. And by the way, I do not judge. You guys have heard me say this in the past for years. If ETL is the goal and you hit it, I will celebrate your victory. Because that is awesome. But please do not tell me, do not tell Al, and for the love of God, please do not tell yourself that you want to get to this position, but you're putting in this effort. You want to get to this position, but you're only going to give it this energy. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Greg Provenzano years ago, he said, he said, magnify your efforts or modify your dreams. That's significant. I think it's significant. And by the way, that's an important word. Why not build a business of significance? Why not build a business where you're a significant player? By the way, before I wrap up here, let me just tell you guys something. Al Thomas had a day one in network marketing. Dude's a senior vice president. And let me tell you something else about that cat. He's on the production charts. His organization is on the production charts. Why do I know it? Because I see it. Why? Because I care about my business and what's going on within the company. That's leading by example to me. So how great for all of us to know that two of the most important factors that will impact the success that you have in your ACN business are 100% controllable by you. Don't tell me you can't do it. Just tell me you're choosing not to. Don't tell me you can't get to RD or RV. It's so hard. You don't understand. Come on, dude. Come on. Come on, Chica. What are we talking about here? Like, let me tell you guys, you've done harder things than ACN. Why are you making this so hard? Worried about what someone thinks about what you're doing? I mean, come on. Really? You guys, when people don't see, when people look at the business and they don't get started, they look at the business and they pass on it. They look in the business and they think it's silly. I actually feel bad for them. And that's not out of an ego thing. I'm no better than anybody. I'm no better than any person on this call, but that's my mindset. I'm like, you got to pay this. You wouldn't want to get paid on it. I just don't understand that. It just does not make any sense to me. So let's talk about and wrap this sucker up. Let's talk about this effort and energy thing. So it's a great, sometimes I just find stuff and it's just right on point with what I want to talk about. And I found one. So I want to share this with you guys. So you guys know, I got a thing for coaches, and here's the thing. One of the greatest coaches in all of sports is a guy that some people know a lot about, and unfortunately, some people don't. He is the head basketball coach for the UConn women's basketball team. Historic. Gino Ariyama, and he is awesome. And this guy is a competitor like you would not believe. And as I'm going through some of the coaching stuff that I like to look at, I found this. And it deals with exactly what we just talked about today. Dave Culver just said, I saw it yesterday on Instagram. Wow. Well, there you go. By the way, Culver, you think that might be a sign, a little private conversation that you guys are listening on with Dave Culver and I, who, by the way, is not in my organization. I have no financial interest other than I love the guy. So Dave, I hope that message came through loud and clear to you, my man. So anyway, let me bring this up and then we'll wrap everything up. Is that okay, Mr. Thomas? You guys, do me a favor. You're going to have to turn your volume up because he's a soft-spoken dude. So if you're in a loud area or you're in the car or whatever, try to do your best to listen to this. So let me bring this up. So he says, when the good players get tired, the great player kicks their ass. I freaking love that. I love that. So here goes. Listen up.
The big difference between a really good player and a great player is great players don't get tired. They just don't. And what makes them great is when the good players get tired, the great player kicks their ass. That's the difference. So every day you're working on that. Every day you're working on that. We can coach ball screens and passing into the post and cutting and playing defense. We're not here to coach your energy level and your effort. That's a given. You wouldn't be here if I had to coach that. That's what other coaches have to do. They have to coach energy. We don't. You all know that. You all know that.
The great player kicks the good player's ass because of their energy. So when I was saying to you guys, we can teach the presentation, we can teach the comp plan, we can teach you how to get customers, we can teach all that stuff. And you can have it down. But if you have it down and there is no energy behind your effort, if there's no energy behind your the skills that we're teaching, difference doesn't make. But someone who may not be that great at those things has an energy level. Watch where they end up. So here's the last thought. If this is a business of duplication and the law of attraction is real, what are you attracting? What are you doing? What are you doing? How are you acting? Efren Tejada, he talks about states of being. What state are you in? So that's what I got, Mr. Thomas. I hope that that's a helpful way to start the month.